It's the last business day of the week. This is Business Incorporated coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chimeze Obi-Iwagu. On the program today, 4 Nigerian banks ordered by the Federal High Court to remit $793.2 million TSA funds allegedly hidden by them deny any wrongdoing. Lafarge Africa declares 33.3% growth in revenue. Plus, Tanzania asks foreign employees of London-listed Acacia Mining to leave the country over allegations of tax evasion. Let's get started now, and we're starting with that story here in Nigeria, where some of the Nigerian banks ordered by the Federal High Court to remit $793.2 million allegedly hidden by them in contravention of the federal government's Treasury single account have denied any wrongdoing. Skybank says it neither colluded nor unilaterally hid the reported sum or any other funds in its custody, and insists the funds are held with full knowledge of relevant agencies of the government, including the CBN, DSS, the National Assembly, and the Inspector General of Police. United Bank for Africa also confirms it has paid the government all the money due to it. Fidelity Bank, on its part, says it does not owe $24.5 million to the government, and it has contacted the relevant agency to understand what account the government was referring to in its request for monies owed. Sterling Bank says it does not hold any sum in any currency as a deposit from the affected agencies and have written formally to the Accountant General of the Federation for clarification of claim. And to market news now. The markets here in Nigeria and South Africa were in the green at intraday. The NSE All-Share Index was up 0.04% as more companies send in their half-year earnings. In South Africa, the JSE Index was up 0.44%, a day after the central bank unexpectedly cut its benchmark lending rate for the first time in 5 years, citing weak growth and easing inflation, and denied any pressure from recent political attacks on its mandate. Egypt's blue chip index edged up 0.06% on Thursday as Commercial International Bank, the biggest lender, added 0.2%. Egypt is closed for the weekend today, and Nairobi traded up 0.08% on Thursday. In the Middle East, the Qatar stock market continued rebounding on Thursday from lows hit after its diplomatic rift with neighboring Arab states, while strength in top petrochemical producer Saudi Basic Industrials buoyed Saudi Arabia. The Qatari index rose 0.42% to 9,542 points. It had closed at 9,924 points on June 4, just before the crisis erupted, and has rebounded more than 10% from its low at the start of July. Saudi Arabia's index rose 0.44% as Saudi Basic Industries climbed 1.1% to 99.90 reals. Morgan Stanley raised the stock to overweight from equal weight and lifted its price target to 122 reals from 86 reals. Alinma Bank, the most heavily traded stock, stayed strong after Wednesday's better-than-expected quarterly earnings, adding a further 3.7%. In Dubai, the index edged down 0.24% as Amlak Finance soared 14.3% and was the most heavily traded stock after real estate developer Damac said it was partnering with Amlak to sell second homes to customers. Abu Dhabi was down 0.91%. All the markets in the Middle East are also closed today for the weekend. Now we're moving now to the U.S., where the stock index futures pointed to a relatively flat open on Friday as investors continued to wade through another selection of corporate earnings. In earnings news, General Electric, Honeywell, and SunTrust are some of the major names that reported before the bell, Among others, Colgate, Palmolive and Schlumberger are also set to report. The future numbers are showing mixed figures there. Have Dow Jones Industrial Average 0.13% down, S&P 500 0.02% down, and Nasdaq 0.08% up. In Asia, markets closed mostly lower after a subdued session on Friday as the euro traded close to two-year highs on Thursday. Comments from the chief of the European Central Bank and the Australian dollar stumbled. The Nikkei 225 slid 0.22%. South Korea's benchmark Kospi reversed earlier losses to close up 0.34%. Over in Australia, the ASX 200 traded down 0.67% on broad-based declines across most sub-indices. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index declined 0.16%. The Shanghai Composite slipped 0.21%, and the Shenzhen Composite edged down 0.11%. And to all the market news, Lafarge Africa PLC has declared a 33.8% growth in revenue to 73.5 billion naira for the second quarter of 2017. And net profit grew by 182.3% to 14.57 billion naira from a loss of 28.37 billion naira in 2016, helped by a 6.2 billion naira deferred tax credit. Compared to first quarter of the year, however, revenue and profit before tax were down 9.6% and 7.7% each.